Hey, it's Bearded Alaskan Sawyer back with another video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Today I'm marking out personal use or cutting personal use for a gentleman here in town. He got a shop that went up, needs some siding, so we're going to do some board and bat, 1x8s mostly out of it. But in this video I'll be falling the trees and getting them out of the woods. So it's kind of a fun process. I really enjoy this. This is a lot of fun being in the woods and falling trees. Problem solving, getting them out of the woods. It's all fun stuff. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. We'll get into it. But it's a pretty tall stump there. So I was battling some rot that I was noticing on the backside. I knew it was there, and ultimately it was there. Whenever the tree came down, you can kind of see a little bit of rot just starting at that butt. So that's ultimately what I was doing, just trying to leave the rot in the woods rather than hauling it to the mill and having to deal with it later in some form or fashion. You'll also be able to tell that I'm not a perfect cutter. I left this portion of the video in there just to show that. I messed up on my first undercut and didn't like how it was laying out. It wasn't going to lay out very well at all, so I went ahead and started a second cut. Not ideal, but just got to be careful. I'm not a professional by any stretch of the imagination. It's something I enjoy quite a bit. Keep getting better at it each time. Not sure if others feel this way, but I would assume so. The sound of a tree falling in the woods is awesome. I enjoy it. That may upset some, but if you're watching this video, I'll assume that doesn't upset you. So I enjoy that. It's a lot of fun. Gotta remember to turn my saw off sometimes because I don't get to listen to it. Dang it. It's going! Sometimes it's a bit of a challenge to not pinch your saw when you're making these cuts. I've been shown what was described to me anyways, a Russian cut, and essentially that is leaving the core, the center of the tree still intact, so cutting all the way around the tree and leaving that center as your hold would and making that your final cut. It works out most of the time. I'm not perfect at it by any stretch of the imagination, so you can see in this one it works out alright. Just working your way around the log and leaving that center generally will avoid any pinching bar, but I've got wedges on me and different things, different tools I need in case that does happen. But 9 times out of 10 it doesn't, but it's always nice to be prepared. This is a big reason as to why I'm able to even do what I can with what I have, and this is setting up a double block. It's a basics in physics, I would assume, or some education level. I can't necessarily explain it, but I know that each time you add a block, it cuts your weight in half, essentially. I will set up a 2. I think that's good for up to 4 blocks, but I set up 2 almost all the time on these. I'm trying to pull these trees out as whole trees, which is kind of difficult sometimes. If I have to cut it, I'll cut it where I need to and get it out. Setting up a double block is essential to what I do. In this next shot, I'll lay out a little bit more how that works. A double block would consist of a anchor point. Also at that anchor point would be your first block. Generally, I'll set the end of my choker, wrap it around the base of a tree, and then set my block up a little bit higher than that. Generally in the same tree. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same tree, but it needs to be in the direction that you're pulling. So you set up a block there, and then at the tree or log that you're pulling out, you will set up another block and run your choker through that back to that anchor point. You need quite a bit of choker or quite a bit of cable to pull something like this off. This is about 120 foot choker or so. It's been broke a couple of times, so I'm losing feet off of it as it goes. That's really the only way I'm able to do this stuff in an efficient manner. It is slow pulling. As you add a block, it cuts your weight in half, but it also cuts your pulling speed in half also. So for every foot, you're only pulling 6 inches actual of the log, or however that would work. It requires a lot of cable, so that's the only real drawback, and it takes some time to set it up. But once you got it set up, you can really pull quite a bit. You do need to have a good anchor point. That can be a challenge at times, finding a tree that you're not going to end up pulling over in the process. So I've done that a time or two. I didn't do that these go-arounds. Bit of a challenge to find a tree. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. But it's a really good way of pulling on these logs without really straining stuff. I've got smaller equipment, so I gotta take a couple extra steps to be kind of easy on it as I can. Pretty much every one of these trees I pull out, I set up a double block. You can see that in this one. There's a block on the tree, it's anchored to that tree, and then there's a block on the actual tree that I'm pulling out. So that's kind of the layout. It really works well because I was able to pull out each section that I want, cut it, move it, and stack it to the side, then pull out my next section, cut it to the length I need it. Most of these I'm grabbing are 16 foot, so I was cutting 12s and 8, what my log lengths I was looking for. So I'd pull that chunk out, cut it, move it, and then pull the next section out. It's time consuming, but it's doable and not horrible work on the equipment or anything really. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Roughly about 5,000 board feet is what I'm guessing for. The permit was for about 7,500 board feet if I remember correctly. Like I said, I didn't take all of them. There's 3 trees that I did not take. One of them was looking fairly questionable. Probably shouldn't have selected it to begin with. It's a bigger one, but the bigger ones generally will have some sort of heart rot in them. I don't know really how to describe it other than a tree just kind of has a look sometimes whenever it looks damp or looks wet. These cedars especially, as they age out, they start rotting, and it's just something I don't want to cut it. I don't want to have to hassle with it. I don't want to deal with it. You know, sometimes we have no choice, but when we're out, you know, we've got a whole forest to select from. We can be selective in our trees, and that's the beauty of this personal use, is being able to be selective logging. Essentially, it's an awesome opportunity for people to get logs, and it's an awesome program. I hope they keep it going. It's been something that's pretty long standing in Alaska. I hope they continue it. It's a great opportunity for people to get logs, and it's a good opportunity for people like me that have mills and are able to do all the work. Sometimes it sounds crazy, but sometimes it can be difficult to get a log source. That's kind of everybody's choke point in this game up here is a log source, which is kind of insane given where we live, but politics, unfortunately, play a big role in that. So I'm not going to get into that any further, but that's just the cold, hard facts of it. Really appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you stuck around to the end, I would assume that means you like it. If you could hit that like button, that would be a huge help. But if you hated this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That'll let me know. You know, do what we can. But yeah, I'm trying to be a little bit more regular on this, as I know it's been back and forth, but I've got a few things in the work. Been filming lately, stitching together another video, and trying this audio narration out. If you like that, hit me up in the comments and let me know. If not, that's okay. I get it. If you guys enjoyed it, be back with another one as soon as we can. Appreciate you guys. Have a good week.